Hello everybody, this is your MC with more Iceborne content. In the previous video that I made, I explained which body parts to break as well as getting all the energy depleted in order to receive the full 16 rewards. So today I'll be showcasing the two ones I did on stream as of recently as well as the weapons I've used to make it possible. And if you wish to see the entirety of the two runs, I have the Twitch VOD link provided in the description. Now, to confirm, I am not telling you to use these weapons per se, but rather what worked for me since I used the same armor set and similar jewels, just with different weapons and appropriate skills for those weapons. If you have any better alternatives, by all means do share, as well as any suggestions of how my set build can be better, which is much appreciated. Now with the awkward shot build I am using the Zora Magnus set for Artillery 5 along with the Artanian Van Brace for the level 2 free element, since level 3 doesn't increase the sticky ammo 2. It does for 3, not for 2. The Razor Sharp Charm for Spare Shot is also quite nice. Now, I do have to clarify that you may need only Artillery 3 rather than 5 in terms of the damage output. The reason for that, I will provide a link to a video from a math perspective content creator Jinjinx. So do check him out since he does provide damaging equation as of the console version, but once the PC version of Iceborne comes out, it may change. Now, with Artillery 3, you may want to use the Nagakuga bonus set instead of having a charm, and use the charm for something else much needed. Having level 3 health boost helps since Safi does hurt, so unless you are overly confident or want to have more damage output than survivability, this is highly recommended. Part Breaker will help since you are aiming to break body parts faster than not having any Part Breaker at all. Everything else is preferable since for myself it has been working for everyone, so I don't see a need to change, but I am open to suggestions. By having at least 2 range user or gun user particularly on head, you should be able to break the head partly before Safi moves to the next area. That should be when you fly back to camp to restock and repeat the process of head breaking. From there, the wings will be the next parts to break along with having the rest of your group aiming for the tail. I switched over the wings before breaking the head completely because of how much damage it already received, and so I left it to my friend to finish it off. It is also during this time of finishing the head and starting the wing, our other friend Style X is aiming for the tail and the Rando is helping with me for the wings. By the time the head breaks completely, my friend flew back to camp to grab his set to help cut the tail, which is nice since we have plenty of time to do so. To further explain this process, simply have 2 people on guns for head and wings and possibly 2 melee weapons, particularly either a greatsword, longsword, charge blade, any melee weapon that is able to cut a tail to aim for the tail within the first phase, second phase, throughout the phase until it's severed. Now, within the final area, both wings, back, and head should be broken and what's left is the tail. Since wings have been broken, I switched over to the Safi Blast Great Sword to deal a massive amount of damage, which luckily really helps shorten the time needed. I will say I never use a greatsword for the tail because it moves too much, and with the weapon being slow, it becomes harder to hit, but because we already dealt a good amount of damage to the tail at this point and have nothing else to break, I might as well have fun with the greatsword. By the end of the first one, you should have the first and second area absorb notification, possibly third if you have time. A depletion notification for the first and second area, the head, both wings, back, and tail broken. I don't need to explain the math since all of that can be found in my previous video. Now for the second one, since you won't be able to go straight into the chest until Safi turns supercritical mode, you might as well deal damage for depletion. What Style and I did was simply use the Safi Blast Hammer to take down the back legs, which we have done within the second area. There's no specific playstyle of hammer that I will be showcasing per se, so long as you attack and deal constant damage to the back leg, you should be fine and you should be able to break both with enough time for the chests. Speaking of chests, right before the siege ends, or at least before Safi runs away / dies, focusing on the chests is very critical, and of course I switched over to the Safi Blast Lance to start and finish off the chests, and that should be it to get the full 16 rewards, should you also have Safi deplete the bottom level, which again, you will have a notification that you have completely drained. Once the chest is broken, and you have maybe around 5 minutes or so, you might as well try to aim for the front leg like we did, or any leg for that matter. We managed to break the right front leg but not the left, but it shouldn't matter as much since we were killing time and we already received our full 16 rewards. That is all for this video in terms of a more elaborate details of what I did, which weapons I used, and of course how easily possible it is to get basically the full rewards within 2 runs. I hope you enjoyed this video and the information provided. Give a share, comment on suggestions and such if you want, and you have yourself a good hunt. Happy hunting.